Formula One fans, war has erupted. Ferrari is putting incredible pressure on the FIA. Together with Honda and Audi, they've discovered Mercedes found a gray area in the engine. That could guarantee 0.3 per lap, an enormous advantage. And they've written an official letter to the FIA to request clarification. Mercedes apparently found a way to reach 18:1 compression ratio, when regulations mandate 16:1. How? By respecting cold checks, but violating another absolute in the regulations. Formula One cars must fully comply with these regulations at every moment of competition. At every moment, not just when cold, and Ferrari has a precise strategy. It doesn't want the solution banned immediately, because it would be impossible for Mercedes to modify everything in a few days. No, Ferrari wants a technical directive after 6 to 7 races to give everyone time to modify, so nobody starts disadvantaged. It's a political battle, intelligent, and the FIA is under pressure. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you is fundamental. Ferrari is reportedly putting pressure on the FIA to ban Mercedes' engine solution for 2026. Here's how the engine manufacturers intend to move, including Honda and Audi. Mercedes apparently found a solution at the edge of legality to have a significant advantage in terms of lap time. Ferrari, Honda, and Audi are pressuring the FIA. Here's how the engine manufacturers intend to ban the element in question. The new regulations will see a clear change on chassis, engine, and aerodynamics, as we've already seen previously. It seems Mercedes and also Red Bull have found a gray area that could gain approximately 0.3 per lap. No engine cylinder can have a geometric compression ratio higher than 16:0. The procedure that will be used to determine this value is reported in the document. Until 2025, the maximum compression ratio for engines was 18:0. According to what's reported by The Race, other manufacturers like Ferrari, Honda, and Audi subsequently wrote to the FIA to request clarification on this matter. The International Federation has had constant dialogue with Mercedes, with the latter wanting to receive reassurances on the developed solution. Everything is believed to be regular, as long as it respects cold checks. However, this conflicts with another absolute in the regulations. Formula One cars must fully comply with these regulations at every moment of competition. At every moment, not just when cold. After the letter sent to the FIA, here's how the engine manufacturers are reportedly thinking about banning the solution. Lots of action behind the scenes. Ferrari, Honda, and everyone who has it against Red Bull, and especially against Mercedes, are very active with requests. They're trying to understand how to react to this type of scenario. The issue hasn't been deflated in any way. As always, I'm consistent. Most likely we're not talking about an 18 compression ratio. Once the car is in motion, so with a hot engine, and not just running in the pit lane, or anyway at ambient temperature. It's probably not 18. It's said to be something slightly less. It must be said that only very few people in the world, only those who work around that power unit, around that type of concept, only those who work in Formula One can have that type of information and can tell us, can reveal to us whether it's a credible number or not, but that the matter has been confirmed, and that somehow confirmation also comes through the FIA's lack of denial. Already this is a very important answer, but especially because the cars will hit the track in Barcelona in less than a month. So the power units at the thermal engine level of MGUK and all accessories have already been prepared. They're ready. They're in final phases, because in reality, the engines are really already 100% complete. So you don't touch them anymore at the hardware level. At the software level, you can do something small. But the moment you talk to me about compression ratio, and therefore about what happens at the piston's top and bottom dead center level, in the cylinder, to calculate that volume, and therefore precisely the compression ratio, software can do very little, actually nothing. Ferrari, Honda, and Audi risk losing the championship even before hitting the track. They want to put pressure on the FIA, suggesting a technical directive that could modify the compression ratio check. This would lead to introducing a new rule. after 6 to 7 races. That is a sufficient period to modify the power unit. Lots of politics, with the last option being that of official technical protest, which would also damage the intact image of Formula One. And the Federation. I don't believe something will happen in Australia. Like protests. I don't think so. The FIA will want to protect itself in terms of image. So if it doesn't change the regulations, it could still help teams with an ADUO. So with a support mechanism for whoever has an engine at least 3% inferior compared to the strongest engine. We're talking about power. Maybe there'll be a more aggressive IDUO in favor of others. But anyway, everything remains to be seen. I remind you that at the 6th, 12th, and 18th races, this system will be implemented, and so it will be decided if and how to help whoever is behind. What I'm telling you, what I'm emphasizing, is to stick to the lack of denials, to the fact that multiple actors involved in this situation, who aren't only Ferrari, Honda, and Audi, but the fact that the FIA had already expressed itself anyway. So material available to continue reiterating. The fact that this thing really exists, I've already provided enough, but not me. The facts provided it, and so this should be enough. The FIA has 3 options. Ban the solution immediately. And Mercedes and Red Bull will have to redo everything in a few days. Impossible. Or prohibit from 2027, like with DAS in 2020. Or introduce a technical directive after 6 to 7 races to give Mercedes and Red Bull time to modify. This is Ferrari's strategy. Honda and Audi put pressure for a technical directive after 6 to 7 races, so Mercedes and Red Bull will have time. But Ferrari, Honda, and Audi won't start with 3/10 disadvantage. For the whole season, it's a political strategy. Intelligent. That could work, because the FIA doesn't want to damage its own image, and doesn't want to see a 2014 biz. The battle is open. Ferrari against Mercedes, with the FIA in the middle. Under pressure, the strategy is clear. Put pressure for a technical directive after 6 to 7 races to modify the compression ratio check, so Mercedes and Red Bull will have time to modify. But Ferrari, Honda, and Audi won't start disadvantaged for the whole season. It's a political battle being fought behind the scenes, with letters to the FIA, with confirmations from Daniele Sparici at Corriere, with lack of denials that confirm everything. The FIA is under pressure and will have to make a decision. Ban immediately? Impossible. Prohibit from 2027. Ferrari would lose 2026. Or technical directive after 6 to 7 races. This is the option Ferrari wants, and is fighting to obtain it.